911, what's your emergency?
The following content is graphic, emotional, includes dark humor that may not be suitable for all listeners. Discretion is advised. These stories are based on real-life EMS, military, and healthcare experiences. Calls are real, providers are real, names and details have been changed to protect privacy. They may be disturbing to some and are definitely inappropriate for HR department. Any medical or mental health discussion is personal experience, not protocol. Use your damn brain. Follow your local guidelines, and when in doubt, call med control. If you're struggling, don't do it alone. Talk to someone, a coworker, a friend, a therapist, or hell, reach out to me. I'll answer. Need help right now? Text or call 988 or visit 988lifeline.org. All right, welcome back to Dispatched and Dysfunctional. Today's episode isn't about a call. It's not about PTSD. It's not about burnout. It's about something I've noticed for a while now. Something I think every one of us, whether you've been doing this for 6 months, 30 years, 10 years, we can all help to fix it. Not overnight, of course, but culture doesn't change overnight. But if enough of us decide we're going to do better, eventually the profession will get better. And honestly, that's exactly what EMS needs. That's why we're stagnant at the moment. We were all once new. So think back to your first shifts. Remember how nervous you were. This is about how we eat our young, pretty much, the new guys. So remember how nervous you were, again, checking your pockets every 5 minutes, wondering where everyone was, everything was, hoping nobody asked you a question in front of everyone else, wondering if today was the day everyone figured out you didn't know what the hell you were doing. Everyone else has been there, every single one of us. Don't want to hear anyone say they haven't. And if we're being honest, some of us are still there. Hell, some of us second guess ourselves after 20 years, 30 years. I know I do it after 10. That's not weakness. That's because we actually give a shit and we care. Experience doesn't erase self-doubt. It changes it. It makes you better. It makes it makes you from a rookie to a FTO to a trainer to whatever. It stops the rookies from wondering, am I doing everything right? You know, the experienced providers always wonder, did I miss something? Did I do something wrong? The day we stop questioning ourselves is the day we stop growing. Honestly, it's the day you need to get the hell out of the field. There are two people learning, and here's something that we don't talk about enough. We always focus on the rookie, the new EMT, the new medic, the new advanced. But there are actually two people learning. We learn from them. They learn from us. The rookies are always wondering, am I asking the right questions? Am I asking too many questions? Am I annoying everyone? Am I getting the right answers? Am I ever going to be good enough to do this by myself? The answer to all that is yes. You don't ask what you don't know, because if you don't know it, you have to ask. And the thing is, we've all asked questions. We've all wondered, am I pissing these guys off? Am I doing something wrong? Is something I'm doing wrong? And they're all real. But here's the thing that we don't talk about. The experienced medics, the experienced EMTs who are training you are always wondering too, did I explain that to them right? Did I forget something important? Am I teaching them my bad habits? What if they ask me something I don't know? Or do I deserve to even be a teacher? And if you've ever asked yourself those questions, you're probably exactly the kind of person I want teaching me. Because you actually give a shit, you care, because you understand what's at stake, that teaching isn't about knowing everything. It's about caring enough to keep learning it yourself. And sometimes the best answer you can give is, I don't know. Let's look it up together. Let's go talk to an FTO. Let's go talk to a supervisor. Let's go talk to a director, somebody. And again, that's not weakness. That's leadership. The school we goes to teach the medicine. The field teaches the judgment. And school don't teach you everything. There's no way in hell it can. You spend months in EMT school. You spend a year, maybe two, becoming a paramedic, depending on the area of the program, and you pass every written exam. You pass every scenario. You get it in the bag, graduate with good grades. They give you the certificate, and you're ready to go. But you're not. You ain't fully prepared. Not because the school fails you, but because the school can't teach you the experience you need to know to understand what's going on. It can't recreate the 3 o'clock in the morning on the side of the road, pouring rain, or holding the baby in front of the mother and the father that's saying, I'm sorry, there's all we can do. It can't recreate the chaos of the scenes that changes you. Again, the school teaches the medicine, the field teaches the judgment. We as experienced providers know things they don't teach the newbies in school because we've learned lessons in the field no one can teach. Things a brand new provider may not even think could happen. We've learned scene safety isn't something you just check once. It's something you constantly check. We all know a scene can go from perfectly safe to, oh, hell no, we're leaving the fuck out of here in split seconds. We've learned the patient joking with you while you're loading them can suddenly stop talking, stop breathing, and now they're in cardiac arrest in their driveway and you need to start CPR. We've learned dispatch information is where the story starts, not necessarily where it ends, and not necessarily that it's true. Not a stab at y'all dispatchers, but sometimes y'all give us wrong information. Again, difficulty breathing becomes a cardiac arrest. A lift assist becomes a STEMI. We've all learned that the ambulances have personalities too. Sometimes the truck runs perfectly, and then you go get lunch and the truck doesn't restart. Or you're doing an IFT, you're halfway across the country, and the engine starts making weird noises, and oh wait, we have black smoke. Again, you're managing your patient while wondering if your ambulance is going to be another emergency. Just remember the families don't always react the way we expect them to. Some scream, some get angry, some laugh, and some become completely quiet. Hell, some chases with machetes. And those are the lessons that the field haunts us one shift at a time, usually the hard way. That's why experienced providers matter, not because we know everything, but because we've already stepped into some of the shit that the new provider doesn't even know exists yet. Our job is to point those holes out to them before they fail, before they fall on their ass and don't get back up. And before anybody thinks I'm preaching from some mountaintop, I'm not. Don't get that wrong. I'm living it right now. I'm a paramedic. I've worked EMS. I've worked offshore. I've worked in numerous environments. I've taught people. Hell, I've even taken care of critical patients. Now I'm working at a fire department. I've taken a critical care class. You know what? I don't know those things. I'm asking questions. I'm working at a fire department right now that I've never done in my life. And I will gladly admit I don't know fire. Definitely not the way the people around me do. I've been through some of the classes. I've been through schools. I've trained. But if I'm being honest, some of the days feel like I'm going to get myself killed. And not knowing that, a class, and knowing that a classroom setting and the field are two different things is something that I realized again. I'm the new guy again, I'm the rookie. I know what it's like to wonder if I'm asking stupid questions. I do it on a daily fucking basis. Wonder if I should already know these answers, or wonder if I'm still slowing everybody down. Wonder if I'm missing something that everyone else thinks is obvious. But you know what makes the difference? The people around you. It's the mentors that you have. I got a whole crew that I love to death, and they would help me with anything I need help with. Guys who answer stupid ass questions tell me there is no stupid questions, only stupid people. But again, that's what they tell me. So don't ever think you're asking stupid questions. There is no such thing as a stupid question if you don't know the answer. The guys I have around me are nothing of what I've seen before. I've never worked in a fire department. They're a great crew. Every shift is always better. They make sure I'm training. They make sure I know what I'm doing, and they invest in me. And I don't want to leave them hanging if ever possible. I want them to know that their investment in me is true and dedicated. That's what great crews do. They build on each other, they help each other, they teach each other. And that's something I think we forget once we get some years behind us is we all need the mentors. We all need help. We're not just the students. We're not just the rookies. It's all of us. For instance, we did a class the other day and some of the guys that had been there for years didn't know some of the stuff I've taught. But again, you can always be a mentor to one person and still need somebody else yourself. I can teach something to some of the new guys that we got that haven't ever been in EMS or fire, period. And I can teach them the medicine and they can learn the fire right next to me. And that doesn't take anything away from anybody. It helps build teams. It helps build camaraderie. And that's how it's supposed to work. We don't need to eat our own people. We don't need to be jackasses to everybody. Just remember, nobody should ever reach a point where they believe they've outgrown having something they can learn from or somebody they can learn from. I hope I always have the people around me that know more than I do. Offshore was a great experience, for instance. This fire department's a great, hell, every company I've worked for really has been that way. And I hope I always have somebody I can walk up to and say, hey, show me this. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. And I hope somebody always feels comfortable doing the same with me. I've worked with paragods. I've worked with dumbasses. And just for some of the new people, if you haven't heard of it before, a paragod is someone who thinks they know everything. They're the ones who'd rather embarrass you than educate you. They're the ones who would make you afraid to ask a question because you don't want to become the station jokes. And I've worked at companies that didn't know or understand shit themselves. And I've worked for some that are fucking phenomenal. But somehow I've expected myself and they've expected me to become a new provider and just figure it out. I've worked for directors who've lost their way, people who've forgotten what leadership really is, people who hate their own newbies. Maybe somebody did it to them and that's how they pay it back. I don't know. But I've seen the other side too. Again, I've worked for great companies. I've worked for places that want you to learn. They want you to ask questions. They want you to fail so you can learn. And let me be clear about that. I don't mean failing with a patient because nobody's bothering to supervise you. I mean little failures, training failures, harmless mistakes that you make while someone experienced is standing beside you. They don't bitch at you. They don't complain. They don't humiliate you. They help build you and explain to you, here's what happened. Here's why we do it this way. Let's try it again this way. And you'll remember this next time. And you know what? That's how it works. You did it. You do it. And they're not trying to prove they're smarter than you, they're better than you, or they're trying to do anything better than you. They're trying to make you smarter and better than you were yesterday. And again, that's mentorship. That's leadership. And none of this means we lower our standards, of course. There's no fucking way. Absolutely not. We hold people accountable. We expect them to study. We expect them to know their job. We correct them when they know they're wrong. We know they're wrong. We make them repeat something until they understand it. If they don't understand it, explain it. Help them understand it. Break it down different ways. And there's a huge difference between holding someone accountable and humiliating them. Being a mentor doesn't mean lowering the bar. It means helping someone reach that bar. If you hold yourself to a higher standard, hold someone else to it too, so they can learn it the way you want them to learn it, the way they deserve to learn it. I've always heard people say, I don't want to train my replacement. I don't want them to take my place. Oh, they make more money than me. Oh, they're better than me. No. That none of those sentences ever made sense to me. And one day all of us will be replaced. We get old, we retire, we move on, we change careers. Hell, we get hurt, or eventually someone else will answer the calls that we used to answer. And that's not failure. That's how professions survive. A real leader isn't trying to stay the smartest person in the room. A real leader builds people who eventually become better than they were. Imagine the EMT or the medic you train becoming one of the best providers in your service. That shouldn't threaten us. That should make us proud. That means that we love our damn job enough to help them, and they love it enough to learn it. Let them be the person that you want to run on your family, the person that you want to run on you if you're injured or sick. We all say it. EMS needs to get better. Fire needs to get better. We all say we want better providers. We all want stronger departments. We want better care, better leadership, better retention. And, this is part of how we get there. Proper mentorship, not Facebook arguments, not speeches on how the new generation sucks ass, not any of that. It starts with us. One shift, one truck, one partner, one student, one rookie, one conversation, and one mentor. And understanding that none of us ever completely stop being the student. If you've been doing this 20 years, we need you. We need you to understand this. We don't just need your skills. We need your stories, your failures, your lessons. Pass them on. I've had people do it for me over the years, and it's been a phenomenal training ground. If you're brand new, keep asking the questions that you want to ask, that you think you need to ask. Don't ever apologize for wanting to learn, for wanting to know something that you have no idea or clue about. And if someone makes you feel stupid for asking a legitimate question, find another fucking mentor. They're out there. And if you're somewhere in the middle, maybe you're not the rookie anymore, but you're sure as hell don't know, like you feel you're an expert either. That's a great thing. Teach somebody what you know, then go find someone who will teach you what you don't know. And that's how this is supposed to work. At the end of the day, our patients don't care how many years we've been doing this shit. They don't care how many certifications we have. They care that the person walking through their doors knows what they're doing and knows enough to ask for help when they don't know what they're doing. That is our responsibility, not to protect our knowledge, but to pass it on. Because one day that rookie you're teaching might be the EMT or the medic standing over your wife, your husband, your parents, or your child, or hell, even you. I've had buddies that ran on me that I went to medical school with. And the firefighter teaching me today might be the person beside me when things go bad tomorrow. That changes the way I look at my mentorships. We aren't just training employees. We are building the people we're eventually going to have to trust with our own lives. So teach them. Let them ask questions. Let them fuck up. Correct them. Challenge them. And don't do it in front of others. If there's something that's messed up on scene, take it behind closed doors. There's no reason to berate people in front of others. Expect more of people. Expect more from them. Expect more from yourself. And when they become better than you, be proud of that shit. You did it. You made that person who they are. And that means that you're making this profession move forward. And just remember, there's always someone better out there. There's someone out there who's willing to help you learn, who's willing to help teach you the way that you want to be taught. Sorry, that was my rant for the day. I just had to get it out. This has been Dispatch Dysfunctional. If this episode made you think of somebody or something, send it to them. Thank the mentor who invested in you. I want to thank a few of them. I don't want to say their names, but thank you for all the ones who have invested in me. And then be some mentor that someone else needs. School teaches you the medicine. The field teaches you the judgment. Mentorship is how we pass both down to the next generations. If you want to connect with me, visit criticalrun.com. Hell, message me on the Dispatch Dysfunctional Facebook page. I am building this for us, for you, for them, for all of us.
If you think it's too heavy to say it anyway. It beats a eulogy. You don't have to apologize for surviving however you can. You're not the reason things are heavy. You're the reason they're still moving. Need support right now? Reach out to me. Reach out to somebody. Text or call 988 or visit 988lifeline.org. You're not alone. Not in this job. Not in this fight. Want to share your story or connect? Visit critical-run.com or message the Facebook page, Dispatched and Dysfunctional. We're building this for you, for them, for all of us.